Hello, I'm Chris Callahan, also known as Mr. C, and this is Intro to Checks. I have a question for you, viewer. Take a look at this position. I'm playing white, and I'm going to move my queen here. Now, I didn't just move any old piece to any old square. There is a reason that I moved that piece to that square. Do you see it? Yes, I'm sure you do. I'm sort of aiming at the king. I'm setting it up so that on the next move I could, in theory, go take the king. This sort of move is called a check. Like, hey, check your king. He's in danger. You might want to save him. Now, let me be clear. It doesn't mean taking the king. It's the move before that, when the king still has a chance to save himself. Sometimes in movies about chess, they will often have one of the characters dramatically play a move and shout, check! And all the people in the crowd will guess, oh, a check! Oh! It's actually not quite that big a deal in real life. Movies are silly. The king just saves itself and life goes on, right? In less serious games of chess, you will see people saying check when they play a move like this, but you won't see it in World Championship matches. In any serious game of chess at a tournament, one of the rules is no talking, and you don't get to break it to say check. Most very experienced players don't need to be reminded they're in check, but it does happen occasionally. Okay, let's practice a bit. We're playing white here. Do you see any checks? I'll give you a moment to think. Pause if you like. Well, the answer here is bishop b5, check. Here's another one. Shouldn't be too tricky. Take your time. I'm sure you'll be able to find the answer. Pause your videos if you like. Well, the answer to this one is a knight move. The knight moves tend to be the trickiest one. And it is knight to g5 check. Or another option is knight to f6 check. Here's another one. Take a good long look. We are playing white. We are trying to give a check to the black king. Think as long as you want. Pause the video if you like. Well, there are two answers again here. The most obvious one to me is queen to f5, check. The other one is easy to miss because it's not a very good move, but it is a check, and that's what I told you to look for. And I'm talking about queen takes c7 check. Not a very good move because you lose your queen, but it is a check. So if you're going to be playing chess, you will not only be giving check to people, but in check yourself. So we need to talk a little bit about what to do when you are in check, how to save your king. So I'm going to play a check here. And you think about, if you were playing black, what would you do to save the king? Now, the problem is many people get the idea in their head that whenever they are in check, they have to move their king. I'm in check, I have to move my king. I'm in check, I have to move my king. And that's wrong. When you are in check, you do not have to move your king. You have to save your king. And you can save your king by moving other pieces. So you could move your king out of the way here, but I don't think that's the best move. I think clearly the best move is taking the rook. Why wouldn't you take the rook? It's a free rook if you could, and you're saving your king at the same time. There's another possibility, which is blocking. So I can save this king by moving the bishop, putting it right here. Rooks can't go through other pieces, so that means the king is safe. Please, please, please do not get into the habit of thinking every time I'm in check, I have to move your king. You do not have to move your king. You have to save your king. Okay, so let's practice this one a bit. You are playing white. Your king is in danger. What are you going to do about it? I'll give you a moment to think. Pause your videos if you like. All right, so let's take a look. I don't believe I can go there because of the queen. Can't go to any of those squares up because of the rook. These squares to the side are no good because of the queen. Can't go diagonally back because of the bishop. I believe king to e3 is the only move. Here's another one. Take a good long look. You are playing white. Your king is in danger. You are in check. What are you going to do about it? I'll give you a moment to think. Pause your videos if you like. Well, let's see. What are we going to do about this? I don't believe I can step up to any of these squares because of the rook. I cannot go sideways because of the bishop here. So what do? That's all the squares, isn't it? Well, remember what I said? We can save the king with other pieces. The only move here is bishop e2 blocking the check. Last one, same situation as before. You're playing white. This bishop is giving check. What are you going to do about it? Pause your videos if you like. Well, this is a tricky one. This is a very tricky one. I would absolutely love to take that rook, but the other rook protects it. Same thing goes for that rook. These squares here are out because of the rooks. I don't believe I can go here because of these pieces. I cannot take the bishop because of the rook and the queen. So it looks like I'm doomed, right? Well, no, I may not be able to take this with the king because I'd be moving into check. I can, however, take it with the rook. The answer is rook takes c3. I think that's enough checks for now. You should be well practiced. Best of luck finding them in your games. Goodbye.